I noticed a driver in the series named Bobby Rahal, and there was something different about the guy, something different about how he was winning races, and certainly a new name. I mean, it had always been Unzers and Andretti's and Foyts and Snevas and Mears and on and on and on. But here was Bobby Rahal, and that's what got my attention and drew me back to IndyCar racing. And then after he won the race in '86, he was a guest on our show. And I just thought, well, this is a whole different kind of guy than I'm accustomed to knowing about in racing. And so appealing that he was very nice, and he invited me to dinner, and we went to dinner and got to know him and got to know his family, and would go to races, and his son at Graham, I don't know how old he was at the time, but just a kid, you know, maybe my son's age, and he'd be running around with his cousins, and you know, as we're all fond of saying, how quickly time goes by, it's evidenced in, you know, who and what Graham has become since. But and then Bobby and I talked about perhaps a partnership, and I was just stunned. I didn't think it was possible. I thought, well, that's something other people get to do. I don't know, but he was nice enough to, you know, facilitate that deal, and we've been partners ever since. And the one constant for me in how many ever racing seasons we've had together has been the people, Bobby and Scott Remke and Bobby's family, and the people that I've met with Rahal and now with Mike Lanigan. I mean, that really is the, you know, the glue. That really is, you know, the racing's exciting, but you're not going to win every race. It's still exciting. You know, you start them all. That doesn't mean you're going to win them all, doesn't mean you're going to finish them all. But the one consistent thing about this for me has been the friendship with Bobby and his staff and crew. It's just tremendous. And I think the attempt to success ratio in racing probably better reflects that in actual life than most other sports. You know, if you win 1 or 2 races out of 15, that's a pretty good season. But if you win, you know, 2 games out of 15 in baseball, you're in a desperate slump. So I kind of like the way it happens. And you, as we've seen over and over again, you just don't know. You just don't know. You can't give up, and you can't count on anything. I remember the year that we won. On the last lap, it was under, I think, caution because of the rain. And Buddy came around, and I looked over at Scott Remke, and I kind of had a optimistic look on my face, and he just said, no. We still have one lap to go, under yellow in the rain. No. So I learned the lesson then that until they come back around under the checkered flag, you don't start to celebrate. And then last year, when it looked like we had an excellent chance, I forget, it was late in the race, we were leading the damn thing with 5 laps to go or something. And all of a sudden, to my right, and by the way, if you don't win that race, or if you're not in contention for that race, it's a pretty long day. You know, you're standing there, and you get a lot of, "Hey, Dave!" And yeah, that's nice, but 90 degrees and "Hey, Dave" all day. So anyway, at the end of the race, it looks like we got a better than a real shot. It looks like we're going to win the thing. Fuel always being a consideration. So out of nowhere, this guy, this gnome-like looking guy appears. I've never seen him before in my life. And he's got what appears to be the proper credentials. And he's got a camera or a notebook or a recorder, and he's got some kind of like racing gnome hat on. A little guy, and he looks at me before Baguette, that's the pit. So the guy sneaks up next to me and he's going like this. Now I remember the lesson from, you know, when Buddy won. No. So I won't look at the guy. And every time I turn my head, there's the guy giving, and it's a little creepy. He does it 3 or 4 times. Then, you know, they bring him in for gas. Boom, never saw him again. Just vanished. Just like some specter that had manifested himself just to, you know, jinx the race and then leave.